If you've spent any time in the headphone world, you've probably seen the debate. Do you EQ your headphones? Some people say it's essential. Others say it ruins the purity of the sound. And a surprising number of experienced listeners won't buy a headphone unless they know it responds well to EQ. So, what's the truth? Should you equalize your headphones or just enjoy them the way they were tuned? Today, we're going to break this down clearly and practically. No hype, no dogma. Just what EQ actually does, when it helps, when it doesn't, and how to use it correctly. What is EQ, really? First things first, EQ stands for equalization. In simple terms, it lets you adjust different parts of the sound spectrum. See, sound is made up of frequencies, measured in hertz. Low frequencies are bass. Mid frequencies carry vocals and most instruments. High frequencies give you clarity, air, and detail. When you use an EQ, you are boosting or cutting specific frequency ranges. For example, boosting around 60 Hz increases sub-bass rumble. Cutting around 3 kHz can reduce shouty or harsh vocals, and boosting around 8 to 10 kHz can add sparkle and air. That's it. EQ doesn't add magical detail. It doesn't upgrade the hardware. It simply reshapes the tonal balance of your headphones, and tonal balance matters more than most people realize. Why headphones sound different? Now, you have to understand why headphones sound different in the first place. Every headphone has a frequency response. That's just a graph showing how loud it plays each frequency relative to others. Some headphones emphasize bass, some are mid-forward, some have elevated treble. Some follow a target curve designed to sound balanced to most listeners. But here's the kicker. No headphone is perfectly neutral, and more importantly, no headphone sounds the same to every person. Your ear shape, head shape, seal, listening volume, and even your hearing sensitivity change how you perceive sound. So even if a headphone is considered well-tuned, that doesn't mean it's perfectly tuned for you. This is where EQ becomes powerful. The real purpose of EQ. Check this out. EQ is not about fixing bad headphones. It's about optimizing sound for your preferences and your hearing. There are 3 main reasons people use EQ. Number 1, correcting tonal imbalances. Maybe your headphones are great overall, but the treble is slightly sharp, or maybe vocals feel too recessed. Instead of buying a new pair, you can make small adjustments to smooth things out. A narrow treble peak can make cymbals piercing, but a mild cut can fix that instantly. Number 2, personal taste. Some people like more bass impact. Others prefer a flatter, more analytical presentation. EQ lets you tailor the sound to your taste. You are not obligated to like what the manufacturer decided. And number 3, genre optimization. Different music benefits from slightly different tuning. Electronic music may benefit from more sub-bass. Acoustic or vocal-heavy music might benefit from a more forward mid-range. Some listeners actually create multiple EQ profiles and switch depending on what they're listening to. What EQ cannot do. But let's be real clear about the limitations. EQ cannot turn a low-resolution driver into a high-resolution one. It cannot fix poor imaging or soundstage limitations. It cannot add detail that isn't there. And it cannot transform a budget headphone into a flagship. It can reshape tonal balance. That's powerful, but it's not magic. If a headphone has distortion issues, slow transient response, or poor technical performance, EQ won't solve that. It can sometimes mask problems, but it cannot fundamentally upgrade hardware. Understanding this prevents unrealistic expectations. The purity argument. Now, we gotta talk about the purity argument. Some people argue that using EQ means you're not hearing the headphone as intended. Here's the problem with that idea. There is no universal intended sound. Manufacturers tune headphones based on market research, target curves, and compromises. That tuning is already a set of choices. Using EQ simply means you are making your own choices. If your goal is enjoyment, not strict product evaluation, then adjusting the sound to suit your ears makes complete sense. Now, if you're reviewing gear professionally, sure, you may want to hear it stock for comparison, but for personal listening, there's no rule that says you must accept factory tuning as sacred. Why so many enthusiasts use EQ? Actually, among experienced listeners, EQ is extremely common, and not because their headphones are bad. It's because even high-end headphones often have small tonal quirks. Maybe there's a 6 kHz peak, maybe the bass rolls off earlier than preferred, maybe the mid-range is slightly recessed. Instead of switching headphones constantly, many enthusiasts buy headphones that respond well to EQ. That's a key phrase, respond well to EQ. Some headphones distort when you apply heavy bass boosts. Others have clean drivers that handle EQ adjustments without audible issues. The better the driver quality and headroom, the better it usually responds to EQ. When EQ makes the biggest difference. So, when does EQ make the biggest difference? First, bright or harsh headphones. If you love everything about a headphone except for a piercing treble spike, a simple cut can transform it from fatiguing to enjoyable. Second, bass light headphones. Some open-back headphones lack sub-bass extension. A controlled low-frequency boost can add weight without ruining clarity, if the driver can handle it. Third, mid-range imbalance. If vocals feel too forward or too distant, small adjustments in the upper mids can dramatically change the presentation. In these cases, EQ can feel like unlocking the headphone's full potential. But honestly, EQ isn't always necessary. If you already love how your headphones sound, there's no reason to change anything. If you prefer simplicity and don't want to manage profiles or software, that's valid. And if you're using very limited playback systems where EQ introduces complications, it may not be practical. Also, if a headphone has fundamental technical flaws, EQ won't fix them. In those cases, upgrading the headphone may be the better solution. The risks of overdoing it. EQ is powerful, and that means it can be misused. Here are the common mistakes. Extreme boosts. Large boosts, especially in bass, can cause distortion. Boosting too much also reduces headroom, meaning you may need to lower overall volume to avoid clipping. A good rule: cut where possible instead of boosting aggressively. Overcorrecting. Chasing perfection can lead to endless tweaking. Sometimes a slightly imperfect tuning sounds more natural than an over-processed one. Ignoring listening volume. Frequency perception changes with volume. A bass boost that sounds great at low levels might be overwhelming at high levels. Moderation and careful listening, that is key. Parametric versus graphic EQ. Now, you're generally going to see two types of EQ. Graphic EQ has fixed frequency bands and simple sliders. It's easy but less precise. Parametric EQ gives you control over frequency, meaning where you adjust, gain, meaning how much you boost or cut, and Q factor, which is how narrow or wide the adjustment is. Parametric EQ is more powerful and more precise. If you're serious about tuning your headphones accurately, parametric EQ is the better tool. Should beginners use presets? So, should you use presets? Many beginners start with preset profiles made by measurement-based enthusiasts. This can be helpful. Measurement-based presets often aim to bring headphones closer to widely accepted target curves. But presets are not universal truths. Your ears and preferences matter. Treat presets as starting points, not final answers. Listen, adjust, refine. A simple way to start EQing. If you want to try EQ but don't know where to begin, follow this approach. Listen to familiar music, identify one issue at a time. Is the treble too sharp? Is bass lacking? Make small adjustments. 1 to 3 decibel changes are often enough. Compare before and after. Stop when it sounds better, not when the graph looks perfect. Avoid stacking multiple large adjustments at once. Work gradually. The psychological factor. And look, there is a psychological factor here. It's important to acknowledge that perception is subjective. If you believe EQ improves your experience and you enjoy the sound more, then it's working. If you constantly tweak and feel dissatisfied, you may be chasing something unrealistic. The goal is not technical perfection. The goal is musical enjoyment. Does EQ affect technical performance? This question comes up often. Does EQ affect technical performance? Technically speaking, EQ changes frequency balance, but frequency balance influences perception of detail, clarity, and imaging. For example, adding sub-bass can make a headphone feel fuller and more immersive. Cleaning up muddy mids can improve separation. So while EQ doesn't change driver speed or resolution, it can change how you perceive those qualities. Volume matching matters. One huge tip: volume matching. Whenever you compare EQ on versus off, make sure volumes are matched. A boosted EQ often sounds louder. Louder almost always sounds better to our brains at first. If you don't level match, you might mistake volume differences for quality improvements. The bottom line. So, should you EQ your headphones? Here is the honest answer. You should EQ your headphones if it improves your listening experience. You should not EQ your headphones if you already love how they sound. EQ is a tool, not a requirement, not a shortcut to luxury sound, not an audiophile sin. It is a practical, effective method for tailoring sound to your ears. If used carefully, it can turn a good headphone into a great one for you. If misused, it can introduce distortion and endless tweaking frustration. The key is balance. Final perspective. Audio is deeply personal. There is no universal best tuning. There's no single correct frequency response that satisfies everyone. Manufacturers aim for broad appeal. EQ allows individual refinement. If you approach EQ with realistic expectations, careful listening, and moderation, it can be one of the most powerful tools in your audio setup. If you prefer simplicity and enjoy the stock tuning, that's perfectly valid too. In the end, the only real question is this: does your music move you more with EQ on or off? That answer is the only one that matters. If this helped you understand EQ and get better sound from your headphones, subscribe to Headphones Pro Review for clear, practical reviews and no-nonsense audio breakdowns. Drop a comment below. Do you EQ your headphones? Always, sometimes, or never? Better sound starts with better understanding.